Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Exabytes Breakfast. I'd like to thank the good people of Exabytes for having me speak on their platform. So my name is Nixon Lee, or I'm known as Nixon Lee. I'm the guy who is primarily known in the SEO and marketing group as the PR guy. I'm focused on helping you get more media exposure today. So I'm going to show you the 5 easy steps in order to get more media leads, traffic, and SEO benefits for your business and to potentially boost your business or your revenue or your sales. So the first thing I want to mention is that if you have failed at getting media for your business in the past, it's not your fault. There's a lot of information out there, and it can be extremely confusing to a lot of people if they do not know how media works. It's very easy to be misled, and information overload can hold you back and keep you from achieving success that you're craving for. So like many entrepreneurs that I work with or business owners that I work with, I know that they tried to get media attention in the past, and for some reason it just didn't work. It's like feeling like, it's like a reality that you will never ever get on media, and the only way you could get on media is if you know someone special in the as an editor in the Star or something like that, right? But I'm here to tell you that you can actually do it, and it's actually very, very easy to do. You just need to have the right system and the right person like me to tell you how to do it. All right. So here's the deal, right? So big faceless PR agencies, they want you to think the only way to get press for your business is to hire them and spend lots of money to do it. And it's pretty obvious, right? I mean, because it's to their interests. And if you feel that you can't get media on your own, you will go to them. And if it's very, very difficult, you'll be dependent on them, right? So the best secrets for getting PR internationally is kept under wraps. All right. So probably right. So you're probably right, because like I said again, the agencies have to benefit from that. So today I'm going to make it very easy for you. I'm going to help you how to do all that. Okay. Oops. Okay. So who I am. My name is Nixon Lee. I started Spying PR. Before that, I ran 2 digital and marketing agencies for several years. I also headed the digital arm of JWT, or J. Walter Thompson, a big ad firm, and worked with big brands like Nestle, KitKat, HSBC, and all. I now work with hundreds of business owners, agencies, online, marketing agencies, affiliate agencies, and e-commerce businesses. I created this system because I don't need you to be awesome at public relations. That's not your full-time job as a business owner. I don't need you to have to spend many hours learning to rewrite the world and pitching every journalist and figuring out what to do. You don't need to do that, to do any of that, right? What journalists are used to getting, and I need to. So basically, when you just don't need to suck when you submit a public relations or a PR or a pitch to a journalist. You don't need to suck. So I'm going to help you not suck, basically. So let me move it faster a bit. Okay. So these are some of the clients that I worked with over the years. Okay. So 5 key points, when done correctly, will generate your traffic, leads, and boost your SEO. And if time permits, I will try to give you some extra bonuses. So let's go to step 1. The first thing you simply need to do to get started to get better media coverage for your business is this: you have to know your goals. Now, this is really, really essential when it comes to media exposure, knowing your goals. Many people jump in PR or press release or public relations. They pitch a reporter every second they have just to get coverage, and they fail at it. Until you know your goal, you will never get through this. You need to have a goal. You need to have a plan. Why do you want media exposure? Okay. Is it to grow your brand? Is it to sell more products? Is it to become an authority in your industry? Is it to get bigger than your competitors? To expand to new markets? To continue to grow domestically or internationally? So there are so many questions you have to answer before you start a media exposure campaign, or if you can even use media exposure for your business. Media is an outlet to which you are going. But if you don't know why you're going there, you're simply going to bounce around the wall and not make any forward progress. Okay, you have to understand why you're doing that. So before you decide on getting media attention, before you can come up with the next few ideas to start sending those press releases or news articles to all the media that you know, or even to your friends, right, who are editors and all, sit down, understand your goal, come up with it, edit it, refine it. It's a goal that can change every month, right, for your business, every quarter, every year. And with this COVID-19 thing, your goal should be changing every 3 months, every 90 days. So never lose sight of it. Without knowing your goal, without truly understanding what your goal is and why you're pitching the media, you won't be able to create your media plan. If you can't recreate your media plan, you are going to be just shouting at the wind. And I hate shouting at the wind. There's nothing worse than just, blasting out everything and trying to get media and trying to get attention for yourself. It just doesn't work anymore. Journalists have no time for you, and they will just delete off your emails or just ignore you completely. So you don't want that. Okay, so if you are finding media for yourself or your bosses, as you teams, okay, obtaining goal, this is the way you should do it, right? Okay, at the end, the result you're looking for is to sell. See, at the end of the day, right, if you're looking to sell more products, you need to ask yourself, how many products do I want to sell? If it's to grow your brand, what do you consider growth? It is to get bigger than your competitors. How much bigger? How can you use media to get bigger? How can you use media to get more, to sell more products? What is your goal? Write it down, understand it, and change it, and come back to it when you need your goal. It's mandatory. I cannot stress how working with so many medias over the years, making with so many businesses over the years, I cannot stress that how important it is to know your goals before you even come and approach a media company or PR company or do media. Many people fail at PR or media exposure because they go in without knowing their goals, and you just need to know it, just need to write it. So one of the pro tips I can give you here is the thing that we use that we call AMP. Okay, AMP is basically audience, message, and product. So base your goals on this: audience, message, and product before you approach any media or do any kind of media exposure, or try to do any media exposure. Use this first: AMP, audience, message, and product. Understand these and integrate it into your goals, and you will not go wrong. Okay, so step 2. I'll try to go fast because we have very little time. Dominate your positioning. So after you have set your goals, you know what you want to do, you know what you're going to use the media for. Now is how do you dominate your positioning? All right, using media exposure to dominate your positioning. What do I mean by that? There's a saying, right, that marketing is telling people you're a rock star, and positioning is telling people you're Michael Jackson, right? How great is that, right? I mean, when you position yourself and you tell yourself you're Michael Jackson, everybody knows who's Michael Jackson. So that's what positioning is, right? Too many people come to us to get media exposure, and when we finally say, okay, let's do it, guys, okay, let's run some press release, let's run some media exposure campaign for them, and when they finally get a call or an email from a journalist or reporter, and I see this a lot, I get this a lot, they freeze, and they freeze really badly. There's nothing worse than blowing your chance because you weren't prepared, because they didn't have a goal and didn't know what they want to do, and when they actually got that call, gone. Okay, I would say like chalat lah, basically gone, just gone lah, you know. In fact, blowing your chance because you weren't prepared is so much worse than not getting a chance at all. Because if you blow your chance and you're not prepared, no reporter is ever going to give you the time of day again. No one is going to give you the time of day again. So I ask you this question, right? Can you define your company, your product, and your message in 10 words or less? Hanging from a bridge, upside down with the ropes about to burn off. If you can't do that, then you got to rethink everything all over again. The reason I ask this is because you have to be able, on demand, on cue, without wasting a second and without missing a beat, when you have the opportunity, explain in no uncertain terms, right? 100% accurately and perfectly what you or your company does to whoever who asks you. If you cannot do that under pressure, on demand, and do it when the journalist asks you or press calls you at any given time, basically says that you're not ready for any media exposure and you could potentially have lost market share and leads to a competitor who can. So this is very, very important. I can tell you from experience, right? Friends and businesses who work with us, local companies, like startups, get massive news coverage in the local press, like in the Star, News Straits Times, and all that, right? And because they did not know how to position themselves and had no goal, they couldn't tell a good story. And even though they got into the news, saw no improvement in their business, no to very little leads and traffic because they did not know how to position themselves well. Hence, they did not take the opportunity to dominate their position in the marketplace. So again, I ask you, can you nail your position perfectly, specifically to that reporter or journalist in 30 seconds or less? In other words, not only what makes you different, but also why should the media listen to you versus any of your competitors, and can you explain why you are better? Simple as that. All right. I'll show you something that is done by Nando's. I love Nando's because Nando's is like the king of trolls, right, in Malaysia. When Burger King, Nando's have a very specific goal. They know what their goal is. They know how to dominate their positioning, and Nando's is one of the best in it. I personally feel Nando's is one of the best around. So basically, when Burger King came out with an ad to say, hey, no, our burgers are natural, there's no preservatives and all that, and they posted out, and Burger King did get a lot of news based on that, some bad and some good. But what Nando's did is Nando's came and trolled over that thing, and it says our peri-peri chicken burger after 3 to 4 minutes. They use the same thing, but they troll over it. So Nando's they are good. I mean, they are really, really good. So because they know their positioning, they know their goals, and they took an opportunity to ride on someone else's and to dominate their market, right? So Nando's had a lot of free PR and a lot of coverage and mentions and all that. So I move to step 3. Step 3. This is one of my favorite strategies or in terms of media. Is basically let's piggyback, oink oink, right? Many business owners and marketers struggle to get traffic, never realizing that there's almost unlimited streams of traffic already there that they can tap into. This is a whole lot easier and more profitable than trying to generate all your traffic from scratch. All it takes is a little research and in some cases, a little imagination. Point taken is Nando's, right? If you keep track of the stories and trends in your niche, you can find plenty of content to piggyback on. Think about it. How your product or service relates to the trend or stories. How you can tie your own product into the news story in your niche. What related pieces of information you have that might grab attention that haven't been covered yet. And that's a lot. If you really look at it, that's a lot. Can you make an image or infographics, point says Nando's, and related to the story or trend that will grab people's attention? Can you also take this to a whole different level by anticipating trends and news stories that haven't hit yet? Some future stories and trends can be predicted quite easily. When you pick out news and trends before they happen, you have a huge advantage because you can optimize for upcoming news and be ranking near the top of Google when it hits. That means when the traffic starts, you can get the huge piggyback ride for a while with no to little competition. Because look, your competition is probably not viewing this webinar now, and they have no idea how to do it, and they're doing the traditional way of going to PR companies and trying to submit emails to journalists and all. But this is one strategy that you can pick up right off the bat today, and start using it right. With a lack of competition, your content is going to have higher visibility in Google, be more likely to get shared, and be one of the few resources available. That means most sites are going to link to you and send you traffic. So the more traffic, the more leads, the potential business, right? Your site gets the attention because the competition is absent. Can you begin to imagine the ways, right, that traffic trends can help you grow your audience and drive bigger profits? As an example of the top 10 search terms in Google in 2019, 3 were entirely predictable, like it's basically the budget, Avengers Endgame, and iPhone 11, right? So those things, I mean, you can find this in Google Trends. You just go to Google. If you go to Google Trends, you type what's the trending item. That can give you some ideas because there are a lot of different niches that you can find on Google Trend, and you can write on those niches and make content out of it, right? Use content out of it. In nearly every niche, right, there are upcoming events, special days like public holidays, deals, product launches. You can capitalize on what event is coming up in your niche that you might be able to profit from. If you plan well, you can be optimizing content keywords and online press releases for those completely predictable traffic trends long before they even become popular. You can target keywords ahead of time, ready for the burst in traffic. You can prepare ad campaigns where competition of an ad prices could be very, very low. You can create engaging and interesting content that capitalize on the buzz. Remember, bloggers and journalists are looking for content to cover when a big trend hits. Seriously, bloggers and journalists are always looking for content. And if your content hits the right thing, they will use your content, because bloggers are just too busy. Bloggers and journalists especially are too busy to rewrite content from scratch. So they will want, so they go around looking at websites and blogs to take some content and then give you back and give you a backlink back or mention back. That's good for your SEO actually. Here are some ideas to get started, all right? So I just give you some ideas, some quick ideas. Is a product topic in your niche or your business going to be covered on a news, chat, or TV show? Often shows tease viewers with content coming up. Is there a product due to come out in your niche? Are you going to launch a new product? Is there something available for your pre-order on Amazon, for example, or if you're into e-commerce, right? Is there a repeating event that happens in your industry, for example? Has a celebrity or well-known person in your niche just done a high-profile interview, or are they launching a product? Could you create content around that person? So these are some of the strategies that you can use in terms of media. So we'll move to step 4. Okay, so I have a bonus hack for you. Piggyback with a charity. So this is something that a lot of people have used, and some people have not used, and some people do not know how to use. So, but this is a bonus hack too. Piggyback with a charity. Nothing opens doors in quite the same way as helping to get exposure and raise money for a worthwhile charity. The credibility and exposure often leads to opportunities you would never have gotten in any other way. It might not give you an immediate sale or benefit right off the bat when you piggyback with a charity, but it just builds a lot of credibility and a lot of exposure for you, and a lot of trust in terms of your clients or people who are looking out at your business. So it gives you a lot of trust. So step 4, do the basics. Now, this is another important topic when it comes to media, is doing the basics. So few people do this, and the least number of people who do this, the easier it is for you to do it. Here it is, be brilliant at the basics, right? So you need to be brilliant at the basics. I had a mentor who told me that once he said, be brilliant with the basics, and no matter how crazy everything else gets, you'll do fine. And he's really right. Here's the thing, right? 99% of all media pitches die before they even fully read by the reporter. So it's true, right? It is so easy to write a good pitch, yet so few people do it. Most reporters have their fingers on the delete key, ready to delete the email before they even read 3 lines. That's serious, right? I'm not making this up. I spoke to many reporters, and to be honest, it has only gotten worse. Basic information and data about yourself and your company needs to be accurate. And are your facts up to date? I mean, God help you if you send out the latest information to a news site, sit up and send them the wrong facts. Because if they use it on their blog, news sites, or even publication, right? Imagine a publication with that. It doesn't matter that you screw up, you will be blacklisted forever from pitching that reporter again. And that reporter will tell other reporters, and it's going to be really difficult for you to get any kind of media ever again, because they just can't trust you without the basics. Nothing else matters. If you cannot get that simple basic information right, updating your website or your content or your LinkedIn or whatever, if you can't get that right, the media is just going to hate you, basically, and they won't bother coming back to you ever again. Sorry, oops. Okay, let me go here. Okay, so step 5 is the hidden benefits. So many, and I mean so many people don't use media exposure effectively or even understand it. If you look at all the successful companies around the world, one of their secret weapon is media, and apart from TV and radio, right? Press releases and online media is one of the secret weapons that you don't ever see a lot of. We know this because, like, example, marketing companies now, SEO agencies, affiliate marketing, if you're into affiliate marketing, e-commerce, they have started using press release now as a secret weapon to boost their sales, their business, their rankings, their traffics, lead generation, and all that. So one of the first things that they have started using is press releases, all right? Because most business owners think that press is only for announcements, corporate news, and only for listed companies, not for SME or small business, right? I can tell you off the bat that is a lie from the pits of hell that was created by PR agencies to get more money from business owners. Seriously. We are here, like I said in the beginning to disrupt the industry. So at us, at Spine, right, we have started this company to disrupt the PR industry and to disrupt it massively around the world and in Malaysia. If you guys were here yesterday, you would have remembered from the session from Marisa. She gave some very interesting stats that the as seen badges, for example, like as seen on Yahoo, as seen on Fox, as seen on CBS, or any reputable badges, actually increase credibility and trust, and even buying of the site up to 17% just by having the as seen badges on your website. That is huge. And I'm being honest with you, it's not hard to get those badges, and it doesn't cost you several thousands to get them if you know how. Media exposure via press releases have become more versatile than ever before, especially in today's marketing scene, right? They obviously been around for a long time, but apart from the purpose of announcing a new product launch or a company latest acquisition, press releases also provides huge publicity for business as well as SEO benefits. Okay. So bonus hack 3, benefit from the media exposure that your competitors are not using. Okay. So here is the 5 benefits that I'm going to share with you today that you can benefit from media, and it's a bonus hack for you guys. Basically, number 1 is huge viewership and customer base. Around the world, more than 80 million are reading the news, and the news is spiked, right? It's really spiked tremendously because everybody's at home, they're looking at the news, they're reading the news, and all of a sudden, news and press through the roof, right? Think about it. If just 0.1% of those readers read your press release and bought your products, you'll be bringing in quite a lot of it. There's a huge pool of potential customers and leads out there. So make the best of it and write a press release or a media release that's worth reading. Having said that, please don't turn your press release to an advertisement. All right. Number 2, bonus hack number 2 is increased visibility and trust. What it can bring you. The more people read about you, the more they know about you. Before you know it, customers and journalists begin to empathize with you and support your cause, which of course could be good for mankind, not the opposite. The more people understand your purpose and objectives, the more likely you'll be covered in the media. And as mentioned before, remember to give them something worth publicizing. All right. Bonus hack number 3, enhance SEO effort. So this is search engine optimization. So if you have a new website and you're going to affiliate marketing, e-commerce, or entire sort of marketing, or new agency or a new business, it's no surprise how many people use press releases to maximize their off-page SEO, backlinking efforts. Any SEO marketer would tell you the importance of keyword research and anchor backlinks when writing a press release, all for the sake of SEO. The links commonly found on press releases are not there for decorative purposes, but for readers to click so they can be redirected to your site. At the end of the day, increase traffic. So increased traffic will be increased leads, increased sales. Number 4, managing and fixing reputation. Now, reputation is extremely important for any business owner, new business owner, whether you're a freelancer, e-commerce, or whatever, right? Whatever industry, whatever you're doing that you're selling online, reputation is extremely important. Not everyone gets good customer reviews, and sometimes just because of one unsatisfied customer, your website reputation on the search engines could be completely tarnished. Press release distribution can help you manage your reputation, especially if you've been getting negatively flamed or for something you might not have done. So this happens like a lot. People write bad stuff about you and put it online or from a blog and all that. Optimizing your press release and sending them out for SEO purposes will help you gain back the positive reputation you deserve, pushing all the negative reviews back down from the SERPs. So this is very, very positive. You can use a press release for that. Okay. And the last one is becoming an industry expert. Don't forget, if you're sending out press releases for people to read about you, you must be you must be something worth reading about. As such, you have to be an expert at something and actually educate and share the information that you become so well learned about. Doing so will increase your viewers' trust and rapport, and eventually, if people like you and agree with you, talk about you will likely be. All right. So that is the last one. So in short, know your goals, dominate your position, piggyback, do the basics, right, and break the myth in terms of that. So you can reach out to me on social, on my LinkedIn. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So I'm open up to the Q&A. If you have any questions, you can ask me anything now. Okay, there's a question from Hanisha. Can we show other products directly, indirectly to compare with our products? For example, Pepsi, Cola. Yes, you can. In Malaysia, they have some laws, so you might not be able to do that directly. But if the distribution was done internationally, then yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got our next question from Hindran.
Yeah.
A little long one, but that's okay. Hi, Nixon. I have a question. I have my own business in web freelancing. Firstly, I've been set up the goal and website for my business, but I still don't know how to promote my business in media exposure. Do you have any suggestions?
Okay, Mahendra. So once everything is set up, you can actually come to us if you want to talk to us to set up a media campaign for you. It could be as simple as a press release, the first release. So for example, right, when you first launch a new website or when you first launch any new product, right, you want to tell the world about it. So it's like an announcement. You can do a first media release or like an announcement for your product or for a new website. So now a lot of new website owners, they don't do this, right? When they have a new website or when they set up something, they don't tell the world. They don't publicize to the world that, hey, I have a new website. It's cool. It looks good. They don't do that. So you can actually run a press release announcing that you have a launch. Like for example, oh, look, I got a new website. I just launched it. You come visit my site, build backlinks to your website. So it's good for your SEO, and it's good for the traffic of your website, and it's good for the authority of your website. So yeah, you can always come back. You can always come to me after this, and we can talk on how to build that kind of a media exposure for you. Not a problem.
All right, Mahindran, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, our next question is from Alvina. How do we build links to increase SEO optimization?
Okay, so link building, it's a huge topic, right? You can do link building in many ways, right? So one of the easiest way to do link building is through a press release. So for example, when you send out a press release to some major news sites, what happens is there will be, when these news sites pick up your media coverage or your press release, there's a link that will be pointing back to your website. So when that happens from all these major news sites, and I'm not talking about some free bad sites, right? I'm talking about some really good sites. Like for example, just say Yahoo, right? Yahoo News picks up your news and it points back to your website. That will give you a lot of authority or good links back to your website. So when Google sees that, hey, a big brand like Yahoo is giving you back a link to your website, immediately in Google's eyes, your website says, immediately in Google's eyes, it will be like, hey, this website has a lot of authority, a lot of credibility, so I will kind of push it up higher onto the rankings and give you a better rankings because of that. So that's one way you can optimize your SEO.
All right, absolutely. Our next question is, how do we access PR agencies?
Okay, you don't want to access PR agency because PR agency is going to cut you, bleed you, and leave you dry. All right, so I would say that if you really wanted to do a press, a media, we can help you out. We can talk to you and we see how we can help you. But I wouldn't go directly to a PR agency unless you are an extremely big brand and you want to do huge international campaigns and all that. Then yes, go to a proper PR agency or if you're doing any ground events or special events and you need special type of specific coverage, you can access any of the PR, because there are a lot of PR agencies in Malaysia and a lot of them are pretty good. There's some bad ones, but there's some good ones. So go for the reputable ones that I can always help you out. No worries, just reach out to me and I'll help you out.
Okay, cool. Our next question comes from Lenny. Now, Lenny is asking, is it true that bad publicity is good publicity?
Again, right? So that is where you need to have your goals, right? If you have your goals done well, any publicity you can turn it around. So whether it's good or bad, right? Because I have seen some companies that have got bad publicity turn it around to something good at the end of the day. And some companies I've known have purposely run controversial media just to create some gimmick to bring back to give them publicity. So it's how you play it around and how you work around it actually.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is from Dan. Now, Dan is asking, how do I find journalist emails and outreach journalists? And how many word count is a good email outreach campaign to a journalist?
Okay, so Dan, there is this thing called HARO, H-A-R-O. HARO is basically help a reporter out. So you can actually go to HARO and pitch your ideas to these journalists because basically when you subscribe to HARO, which is free of course, they will send you an email every couple of days. And in that email, you can actually look at the topics that journalists are looking for to give news or give content, right? So you can actually pitch those journalists. And in terms of the word count, it depends, right? It can be 500, it can be 1,000 words. It really, really depends. The thing is with HARO is that you got to really pitch them well. And in terms of finding the journalist emails, you can actually look up for them on LinkedIn. But in most cases, right, to be honest, a lot of journalists do not reply to a cold outreach because they are being bombarded with emails and cold outreach on LinkedIn and email, like hundreds and hundreds of emails a day. So the best bet, I would say, if you use HARO, H-A-R-O, haro.com, go there and pitch the journalists from there. It's much easier because they are actually asking for the content.
Okay. I think that's very helpful. Thank you. Our next question is from Linux Low. And Linux wants to know, how do we get media release and how much budget do we need to plan on this?
Okay, media release, if you come to people like us or go to an agency, it can be from a couple of $100 to a couple of $1,000. It depends on the reach that you want. The outreach, whether is it locally, whether is it internationally, whether is it specifically to a certain industry or niche. You can actually do that. You can always reach out to me and I can help you out. No obligations.
All right. Now, I see a lot of questions coming in. Guys, keep it up. We love having as many questions as you want to send in. Nixon and the rest of the speakers are here to help you all out. Let's continue. We have a little bit more time. Our next question is from Jackie. Now, Jackie wants to know, I am not selling products per se. I am selling 3D drawings only. Can we press help? Yes,
it can. So if you're not selling a product, you're only selling 3D. 3D drawings is a product, isn't it? So as long as you're selling something, whether it's a service or a product, you need some sort of authority, you need some sort of credibility or trust. So if someone comes to you, let's say if you have a website or you have a social, or you study from your website or you study from social media or Instagram or whatever the case, right? Having a little bit of press about you that is searchable online is not bad, it's good. Say, for example, someone comes to your website and say, hey, that's a nice 3D drawing and it looks good, but this guy has no review on the website. Can I find him? So I type in your name, your company name, and I find you in some news somewhere that says good things about you. Then it kind of builds some sort of credibility and trust for me to actually buy from you. So that will help. So yes, of course, a press would help. Okay, Jackie, I hope that answers your question. Our next one is from Jaslyn. Hi, for a real estate realtor, what topics will catch attention? Topics related to the current real estate news. Thanks. Okay, so for real estate, what topic will catch attention? So now I think in real estate is basically the COVID thing, right? The crisis. Now I know that I'm not sure how much of a information you would want released to the public, but I know that the market has tanked a lot. You can even get from developers like 20 to 30%, I think, below market rate if you know how to negotiate. So there are a lot of topics now about the COVID and people are buying, selling. So that could be a very interesting, because a lot of people now are, I would say, confused. Should they buy? Should they sell? Should they keep? What about rent? So having topics like that, covering those kind of things in the press will give you a lot of media attention, one, and also will position you as an authority in the market or in that niche. For example, to say if you're doing sub-sale, you're doing or whatever, right? Buy from developers or whatever. So if you kind of have a goal and you target a specific niche or a specific topic and you put a lot of press in it, people will tend to look at you as the authority figure and trust you more and come to you more for advice. So that will be really good for you.
Okay, super. I think we have time for about 2 more questions. Our next one comes from Tan. Now, Tan would like to know how to know when it's time or the next stage to get media exposure for businesses.
So, Tan, if you look at the slides that I have, the first thing is this: you need to know your goals and what is your goals. If you're ready, it means okay. So this is a question that if you are ready internally, your team is ready, or you are ready to grow your business, to expand your business. You want more sales, you want more authority, you want more credibility or whatever. When you are ready, when you know you are ready, you can get a media exposure anytime. Anytime when you are ready. It means, for example, when I said, right, when you send out a press and someone calls you, a reporter calls you, or anybody calls you, are you ready to get on that interview with the reporter? Whether it's a news station, whether it's a TV station, whether it's radio. If you're not ready and you're not sure, then you're not ready for press yet.
All right. Okay, let's squeeze in one more. This one is from Rina. Hi, Nixon. For a new business owner and you are the only staff for now, what would you recommend to do what you've just discussed here, given that one does not have copywriting skills and etc. For example, doing what Peri Peri Chicken does, and doesn't have much resources to hire an agency?
Okay, for a single business owner, this it's actually quite easy. You can actually outsource a lot of this work done for you. Like a company like us, right? We would write the press release for you. We would research for you. We would do all the keywords for you. Do all the necessary things for you before we actually launch the press release for you, or a media campaign for you. So we will actually speak to you first, find out about your goals, find out what you want to do with it, and we actually help you to do everything. So you don't need copywriting skills. You don't need to do all that. Your job is to run a business. Our job is to handle all the technical details and get it done for you. The way how we work with business owners is this: the business owner shouldn't have to worry about all those technicalities. We as the company should be able to handle everything for you, and we do that for you. So we handle everything for you, and you just run your business how your job is to get sales, build your business, and not worry about all those technical stuff. So if you want, you can reach out to me. I can help you with that. No worries.
Okay, Nixon, that's all the time we have for today. I'm
Yep.
so sorry, but we have to cut you short right now, even
No
though we
worries.
still have a lot of questions left.
Yep.
If possible, you can always reply to them in the chat box or the
Sure.
Q&A section. But I'd like to thank you so much for sharing your insight, because I think that throughout your entire presentation, you highlighted a lot of little things that we really have to take care of and take note of, in fact, because for the most part, I think that these things are the things that we tend to deem unimportant. Sometimes we tend to overlook them a lot. So thank you so much for highlighting to everyone who has been watching today.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.